Western medicine is finally appreciating the importance of our diet and its effect on the microflora in our GI tract. And that's why it keeps popping up in the news lately.
It's been happening a lot. 20 years ago when we talked about the microflora of the gut, everybody thought we were crazy, particularly the gastroenterologists, unless there was a big infection, something like Shigella or C. difficile colitis or cholera or something like that. But to appreciate what the microflora of the gut actually does and how complicated it is really another story that is finally coming into its own.
So what's the deal about milk fat in desserts, increasing the risk of appendicitis and inflammatory bowel disease? I want my ice cream.
Yeah, well, see, in some people, what happens is that we're more vulnerable than others to certain kinds of things happening. It depends on our genetic makeup, and it depends on which kind of bacteria live in our gut. Now, we've got 1,000 different kinds of species of microbes that live there in a very complex ecosystem that are in a delicate equilibrium between the external world, what comes from the outside of our body, inside of our gut, and with a very delicate relationship with the inside. So the GI tract works like a buffer in between the two to try and make us as healthy as we can. So what we're looking at here is what we feed the gut, what we put into the gut, the kind of food that we put there has an effect on what kinds of microbes can live there.
Well, what about with things like lactose intolerance? A lot of times we hear about that.
That's a good point. So if we don't have the kinds of enzymes that we need to digest lactose, what will happen is our bacteria will begin to digest those. And those bacteria that do that are not ones that are particularly friendly to the gut. So when they overgrow and they make the products that they make, it tends to poison us from those products, and then we have the gas and the distension and the bloating and the cramps that people who have lactose intolerance have. And it's the same thing when some people consume milk fat. They have a lot of milk fat, whether it's in desserts or it's just in the form of milk products. They're a little bit at more risk for inflammatory bowel disease and appendicitis.
And then, of course, there's antibiotics. If people take antibiotics, it kills all the microflora, the good with the bad.
There are lots of ways to look at destroying the balance that we have with that delicate ecosystem. And keep in mind that there are hardly any kinds of microbes that are found in everyday life that are not present in the gut. We have small amounts of H. pylori, we have small amounts of C. diff, we have small amounts of methicillin-resistant staph, and they are harmless to us as long as they're in small amounts. But as soon as they begin to populate and grow into larger amounts, then the amount of toxin that they make can become enough that it makes us sick.
Well, that's where the friendly bacteria come in, though, to crowd it out, right?
Exactly. So the friendly bacteria, when you feed them fiber, which is what they need, the undigestible fiber that we eat in our fruits and vegetables, we can't digest. That's why it's called undigestible. But the microbes that live there, that are friendly ones, that are crowding out those candidas and C. diffs and methicillin-resistant staphs, they don't depend on that. And so when you take fiber away, then the good bacteria that you'd like to see grow can't grow because you're not feeding them. And if you're feeding them something, if you're feeding the gut a different kind of substance that those pathogenic bacteria like, then they'll overgrow and you'll become sick.
So let's talk about this bacteria,
Bilophila
wasworthia.
Okay, well,
and how that causes the leaky gut.
Okay, well, basically, this is a kind of microbe that grows when the environment is right. And when we eat milk fat, drink milk fat, or consume it in some way, it tends to feed that microbe. And when it gets to be at 3 or 4 or 5% of what is made up of the intestinal microflora, it's toxic because it makes enough toxic product to make us sick. And when we get sick and there's inflammation in the gut, it changes the permeability across the lining of the gut. So if the lining of the gut becomes more permeable and now can't filter out large molecules and can't filter out even whole bacteria, then there's an invasion from the inside of the gut to the inside of the body with some of these substances that can be poisonous to us, and we get sick. That's what the leaky gut syndrome is all about.
So I guess the moral of the story is to eat a healthy diet and have, and have a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. So if you consume foods that are good for you, which means real foods.
Like fruits and vegetables with lots of fiber.
Yeah, if it looks like a zucchini or a strawberry, eat it. If it looks like it's in a package and it's got a long ingredients list, you better think twice, because it's not going to be the way Mother Nature made it, and it may just destroy or disturb that microflora that's in a delicate equilibrium in your intestinal tract.